good afternoon to all our viewers on MAQ TV. We're very privileged today as we are shooting across to Mumbai, the entertainment capital of the eastern part of the world. And we're catching up with a very dear friend of mine, a man from the TKR setup, ACHINT GUPTA. And he has kindly consented to spend a bit of his Sunday night with us speaking. It's afternoon time here in the United States and, of course, in the West Indies. But it's night time across there in Mumbai. ACHINT, how are you?
Thank you, Vinod. Thank you for having me here. Really a privilege to come on MAQ TV and share my experiences with you.
That's wonderful indeed. Well, as you know, the situation in America is pretty grim in terms of the numbers. They keep climbing with this pandemic, this COVID-19 pandemic. As you and I were speaking last week, and I told you that I'm sure a number of eyes are pointed towards India. Hopefully, someone in India, you're so brilliant in India, the brilliant minds can probably come up with a vaccine. What's the situation in terms of the COVID virus in your neighborhood in Mumbai?
So when it comes to India, I mean, it's on a rise right now, and we have already crossed about 95,000 cases. But because of the great lockdown efforts by the government, which has been going on from March 25th, and today we just announced a new lockdown 4.0. So lockdown efforts have resulted in the fact that at least the mortality rate has been kept in check, and the recovery rate is also more than 37%, which is very good. But saying that, Mumbai is like the worst affected city in India because of the density of population. I mean, it's more than 2 million people stay here. So, 20 million people stay here in Mumbai, and it's cramped for space. So it's actually one of the big reasons why there is a spike in numbers in Mumbai. It's very similar to why there is a spike in number in New York. So New York and Mumbai are pretty similar that ways. But I mean, the government is taking a lot of efforts. We are all staying home. I've been home for 50 days now and haven't really ventured out at all.
50 days, 50?
Yes, 50 days.
Wow, that's pretty long for you, ACHINT. You're a man who normally globe trots. But what's the mortality rate like in
So
India?
Mortality rate is about 2.75. I mean, about 2,800 people, I think around that figure, 2,800 people have sadly passed away after in last 7 weeks. So, I mean, it's been under control. A lot of people are saying that because of India's immunity, I mean, we grow up with a very different environment in our country, and the kind of immunity that we develop from our childhood days, and the fact that we undergo a lot of other vaccinations. So that has probably helped, but it's all a theory and not really proven anything. So we are still keeping our fingers crossed and praying that it doesn't really spiral out of control for all of us in India.
Well, you were saying that your government has just announced lockdown 4.0. Well, the news I have for you is that one of your favorite countries, Trinidad and Tobago, just yesterday the government announced Open Up 2.0. So all manufacturing industries are now open back from Thursday of this week will be open, and you know, most of the businesses are back open now. Of course, there are regulations in place still. We're not totally off the quarantine period. The airport is still on lockdown, and that's going to remain on lockdown. The countries on the borders are closed for, I think that will be for a good period still to come. But we haven't had a case here in Trinidad and Tobago for the last 18 days, not even a single case. Well, of course, you say Mumbai is 20 million, but the entire Trinidad and Tobago is 1.2 million. So I guess you take that figure into effect as well. But Trinidad and Tobago, the good news is that things are really looking up. I'm sure that will be good news for you as well because of your interest here with the Trinidad and Tobago Knight Riders.
Yes, I mean, we've been closely following the whatever is happening in Trinidad and Tobago. And obviously the lockdown, although the cases are under control, and it's a very good news that for 18 days there have been no cases. So, but what is crucial is that even when you do a lockdown, there is a certain economic strata, society, people who kind of struggle with their livelihood, and as the organization, I mean, as Trinbago Knight Riders and as KKR in India, and Shah Rukh Khan has done a lot for the people of India as well, in terms of aid that our organizations, KKR, Red Chilies, and Mir Foundation can provide. So in a similar way, we wanted to do something in Trinidad and Tobago as well. So what we managed to do is we tied up with HADCO, and we provided about 1,000 food hampers to the needy people. And I was very glad to see that quite a lot of our players actually individually delivered those hampers to the needy people across the different geography of Trinidad and Tobago. So, which is very, so, I mean, whatever we can help, we would like to help. Everything is, I mean, there is never enough in these times, whatever as an organization we can do. But yeah, I mean, Trinidad and Tobago is very close to our heart. So, and everybody there, I mean, the country has supported the team so much in the last few years. So we really feel close to the country.
Yes, of course. And of course in Miami as well, Cricket Council USA, of which Mohammed Qureshi is the chairman and CEO. They have been out giving a lot of aid as well. Very early in the game, so to speak, MAQ decided to provide thousands of cases of energy drinks. MAQ has a brand of energy drink called T20 energy drink, and there's the Beamer and the Bouncer, and that was provided to frontline workers, because most of the time these guys will have to be up all night taking care of the sick. So that was provided. A number of masks was also provided as well as food hampers and other stuff provided by MAQ Qureshi on the Cricket Council USA and also the MAQ Foundation. So cricket again has come to the fore. Also in America, you're speaking about India and Trinidad and Tobago, but also in America they are doing it, and MAQ is leading the charge in terms of getting help out there for those in need.
That's very good to hear. I mean, I've heard about Mr. Qureshi, and it's fabulous the kind of things that he is doing in his region. I mean, everybody actually needs to contribute. If you are a person with means, it is vitally important that you help the society out in these desperate times. So I'm very happy that Mr. Qureshi has been able to do this.
Well, he has helped a lot with cricket as well. He's you've met him there. He's a very unassuming man, but he has done so much for cricket. He has spent actually, I think, up over $35 million in the development of cricket in terms of cricket grounds, tournaments. The US Open is a very popular tournament. It's the only T20 tournament in America that is of any repute. And some of the world stars come to play in that tournament. We've had from your team, Tyrone Pollard, Sunil Narain, they've played. We've had the Bravo brothers, and from other teams in the Caribbean, we've had Nicholas Puran and all these guys playing at the US Open. So MAQ has invested that, and he's the sole sponsor of the US Open tournament because he wants to help. And it has been a rough time for him, not financially, but it has been a rough time for him emotionally as well, because he wants to go out there, he wants to help. Just recently, before the COVID struck, he bought 1,000 bats just to give away. So when you're getting aid now from Cricket Council USA and MAQ Foundation, you're also getting a bat with it. How about that?
Well, that's quite an interesting way to go about things. I mean, if there is always an incentive, people would always would want to come forward and help. So I like good to hear about the innovative ways.
Yes, And of course, that US Open, you know, we try to do things differently. The tournament will be played this year, hopefully in December. It's a long way away, but we're confident that it will be played in December, the 12th edition of the US Open. Some of the players in the Caribbean Premier League would have played there for a number of years. Most of these guys, their first time, like let's say Mark Dial, his first time of traveling away from Trinidad was at the US Open, and Mark Dial ended up with the TKR last year. What the US Open has done as well, ACHINT, is to provide players of the likes of Muhammad Ali Khan, who has now come to the CPL and has taken it over by storm. Your thoughts on that? He's a member of your team.
I mean, we would really like to say thank you to US Open for actually giving Ali Khan that kind of an opportunity where he could really meet Bravo and showcase his talent. I mean, you may be talented, but you really need those platforms to do well. And when you play with the likes of Bravo and Pollard in a tournament, that is where you are tested to the hilt. So it was amazing that he got that opportunity at the US Open. And for me, I mean, he is kind of the find for us in last couple of years, because the way he has transformed as a fast bowler who could not only start at the start of the innings in the power play, but can also do very well at the death, and to have that kind of a attitude towards bowling where he soaks in all the pressure. So it is quite amazing the way he has grown up into one of our leading attack bowler for us for Trinbago Knight Riders in the last 2 years. I mean, the year, his debut year, we won the title, and he played a very important role. And apart from that, I mean, the fact that Trinidad loves him, he is like their son. So, I mean, I read one of your stories that he is looking forward to playing for TNT in other formats of the sport as well. Yeah, TNT Red.
And the president of the TNT Red Force was actually on MAQ TV earlier this week, and he's welcoming that as well. So you never know what can happen. As you say, in everyone in Trinidad and Tobago, you know, he's like a son. I think most of the ladies want him to be their husband. But you know, he's very, very popular indeed. And I think Ali Khan, once he continues, he will ensure that people come through the turnstiles there in Trinidad and Tobago. Even the ladies who don't even really care about cricket, they're going to come to see Ali Khan. Tell me, what's the future in terms of the TKR and the CPL? Well, I know you can speak only on behalf of the TKR. For good talent coming out of America like Ali Khan, we have other good talent like Zishan Qureshi, Mac's son. He, you know, he was spotted by Guyana Amazon Warriors. He was taken just into their training team for 2 years. What is the future like? Is there a future for guys like these who will be looking to impress franchise owners and teams?
I mean, obviously, as you're aware, that CPL has made it mandatory that you should have an ICC America player in your squad. So, which is a very good sign, because that automatically makes any CPL team to really look for the kind of talent which is available in ICC America, which could be from Canada, which could be from US. I mean, Hamza Tariq was with us for quite a while, and then Ali Khan came into the scheme of things, and at one point of time we had both. So we valued the ICC America so much that we had two players from the region. So I mean, there is a massive scope for everybody who's playing cricket there. The world is keeping an eye on from even the associate nations. I mean, Rashid Khan's story is a. I mean, he played from a country where nobody actually thought that cricket would be there, but to rise up from there and become IPL's #1 bowler. So, I mean, those stories are there. I mean, in KKR, we had Ryan Tendeshkate, who was playing from the Netherlands. So I mean, as far as the T20 format is concerned, all the franchises are keeping a very close eye on the kind of talent who's there, and especially in for CPL in the States and in Canada, every franchise is very excited to look at the talent. And the great thing is that because of the proximity to America, I mean, the players have actually played a fair bit of cricket in Trinidad or in other Caribbean countries. So which is a good factor because they know the conditions already. So which really helps. Like in TKR's case, I mean, Ali Khan was earlier with another franchisee, but he had already come to Trinidad to play a certain level of cricket, which really worked for him because he knew the conditions very well, and it didn't take him long to acclimatize to the whole atmosphere of the country.
Yeah, that's very true indeed. But just to go back to a point that you made, is there a limit to the number of ICC Americas players on a squad? Because you were saying that they mandated that you play one, but there was a year when you had two in Ali Khan and Hamza Tariq.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to check on that. But the good thing is that, I mean, I think, so the squad stipulation is that you can play 4 foreigners and play an ICC America player. So that's the part of the 11. So, I mean, which is the case. So in our case, when I've been in 1 or 2 games when Hamza and Ali both played, so Ali was the foreign player and not the ICC America player. So,
okay.
So that was the case then.
Okay, thanks for clearing that up. Just to switch a bit now to you and your blossoming career. Tell us a bit about you and the KKR, how you got involved with KKR before, of course, leading off to all the other interests that the KKR and the Red Chilies brand has.
So, I mean, it's almost about half a decade now that I've been associated with the brand, and I joined in 2015. I was a sports producer before that, so I used to produce live cricket commentary and shows for India's leading sports broadcaster, Star Sports. Mm-hmm. So I've been a journalist from 2003. So I was earlier with a couple of Indian newspapers, and then I started working for a news channel, and then I had a long stint of 7 years with Star Sports as a cricket producer. So I was always up and around cricket as a sport, and content was the key factor in my career. So around 2015, I had great interactions with Mr. Venki Mysore, the CEO of KKR and Red Chilies. And during those interactions, because in 2015, the time was changing and the social media was becoming bigger. So it was vital that KKR had a own content team who could do a lot of behind the scene content and can bring fans closer to the team, because when you show that kind of a content, the fans really get an inside view on the proceedings of the team, and they feel much closer because that content is very informal setting content. So it allows the players to directly interact with the fans. So it all started in 2015, and we've been growing as a franchisee ever since. Mr. Mysore ideas have been pretty fabulous in terms of how to grow the franchisee, and thankfully the year I joined, we bought over the Trinidad franchisee in the CPL as well. So yeah. So that really helped us. I mean, we are kind of truly the one of the global brands of the IPL, and I mean, I was just discussing with him about the journey, and today we were reading an article in the ESPN Cricket Info, in the Cricket Monthly, and they actually evaluated all 8 franchises on the fan engagement and popularity parameter, and they said that actually in 12 years of existence in the IPL, KKR is the most valued brand and the most popular brand. So we were
Well,
just discussing it today.
well,
Yeah.
congratulations to you. I know you have a big part to play with that. I've seen you in operation already, and I know you're trying to take KKR from one level to the other. The Mumbai Indians, they had a Netflix series. I know that the KKR is also working on one. You did some interviews as well. What's the latest with that? I'm sure.
So yeah. So I mean, I think KKR was the first one to actually come up with a documentary series.
Mm-hmm.
So this was way back in 2013 or 2014, because KKR's story is a fascinating one because of the simple fact that in the first 3 years, the team did not do too well. I mean, KKR was the only franchisee to have not made the playoff in the first 3 years, and to have the transformation right after that to win in the second year after the transformation. So I mean, it is one of the fairy tales of the IPL, and the fact that Mr. Mesu joined in 2010, and we won our first title in 2012. So we made a 4-part documentary series that was aired on the Discovery channels. So this was way back in 2014, and so we've been working on quite a few of such projects as well. I mean, we made another documentary in 2017 around KKR's journey, 10-year journey. So that was done, and now we are in the process of doing a film on TKR, because I mean, I don't think any other franchisee in any form of T20 cricket in another leagues have been as successful as TKR. I mean, we have won the title 3 times and made it to the playoffs the other 2 times in our very brief existence of 5 years. So it has a fabulous story. It has a story of patriotism, because Trinidad and Tobago doesn't look at TKR as a franchisee. They look at it as a national team. Yeah. So we are trying to bring that forward in our film, and the love and the passion that the people have for the team. And I mean, you are aware that in this year's retention, we have already retained 9 Trinidad players. So ours is one of the teams which is made by the local players. So we take a lot of pride in the fact that that our team is a true representation of the feeling that goes around in Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad as a country is a very competitive country, and they're passionate about cricket. And as a team, we feel really great that we can do justice to the kind of passion that Trinidad has, and that shows and reflects in our performances. And I mean, be it the Queen's Park Oval or the Brian Lara Stadium, I mean, the crowd has always supported us, and it has always been a packed stadium whenever TKR has played. So it's been fabulous that way.
Do you have a timeline as to when the TKR documentary will be out?
So I mean, I'm waiting for a few things, because what has happened is, because of the pandemic, there are quite a few more interviews that we were supposed to do with Brendan McCallum, and I was supposed to meet him in the IPL and do a longish interview and get his take on the journey, because he was a player for the first 3-4 years, and now he is the head coach. So his interview is the most crucial one there. So, and then I'm also looking at filming a little more once I'm back in Trinidad this year, because we want to get a perspective from the social impact in Trinidad. I mean, get few ministers. I mean, we work very closely with the Ministry of Tourism of Tobago, and we work very closely with NLCB. So we really want to get a lot of other official people to come into the documentary and speak about what TKR means to the country. So that's why I can't really put a timeline to it. But I mean, and we are hoping that, because we were filming last year at but unfortunately we didn't end up winning last year, although it wasn't the case in 17 and 18. So I'm hoping that we'll do one more season of hard work on the film, so that and I'm sure, I mean, we will do well as a team. I mean, you know that squad, it looks really formidable. So we're just hoping that we will get a little more. So whenever the season is, as soon as the season gets done, we'll be able to release the film.
And do you think, I know you can't answer for certain, but just your gut feeling, do you think that there will be an IPL this year? And also, do you think there will be a CPL this year?
So, you know, as far as IPL is concerned, I mean, just today, Mr. Masood did a long podcast with the ESPN Cricket Info, and you would be aware of Sharda Ogra. She's a senior journalist, and he had a very long conversation with her, and he threw some light on the fact that how people are looking at a very different kind of an IPL. I mean, obviously we don't know for sure what the situation would be in a couple of months, but it is improving. I mean, today in lockdown 4.0, it has been announced that the sports stadium in India is allowed to be open now.
Wow.
So, and they have said that you cannot get spectators to come in, but the stadium can be open. So now that is a very good news for the sports fans, for the cricket fans, because if the stadium are open now, so I mean, whenever the flights are back in place, and whenever the foreign players can come to India, I mean, everybody is hoping that they would be able to pull off a certain kind of a IPL at some point of time in the next few months. And obviously there are conversations going around, and I've heard that ICC is also going to take a call on the World T20 very soon. By July there'll be a confirmation on that. So because Australia right now has travel restrictions going on, so if the World T20 doesn't happen, then obviously that also opens up a window for the IPL. So, but saying that, I mean, all of this is conjecture right now. We are all hoping that everything gets back to normal, life gets back to normal, and this pandemic is over. So that is the most important thing. Right now, everybody is concerned about health of the fans, of the players. So once everything seems to be in control, then I think a decision could be taken. Thankfully, I mean, worldwide the sport has started. I mean, Bundesliga today Bayern Munich is playing a game. So people are excited about live sport, and good thing is that in next few months EPL will start, and La Liga will start, and Serie A will start. So all these leagues will set a precedence for the other sports to understand how sport can happen, and whether it is working, whether the experiments are working, so whether the social distancing is working despite playing the sport. So all of these things will matter a lot when any sporting body will take a decision in terms of organizing a sport. So
but specifically now, how difficult has it been in terms of planning for CPL, given the fact that there is no call as to when it will be played? How difficult has it been as a franchise in this situation to prepare? When speaking to Pete Russell, the CEO of CPL, he was telling me that there could be a situation where this year the CPL could be played without foreign players.
Like right now, I mean, there is no reason to believe that it may not happen on time, because I mean, August is still some time away. It's 19th of August to 26th of September are the dates for us now. I believe the way you would have seen retentions, the way it has happened. I mean, everybody is right now believing that it will probably happen at the point of time when it is scheduled. So, I mean, I think all these things we can only take closer as an organization, and as a team. We'll only be able to take a closer look to it once we know for sure that it is not happening around the dates when it is supposed to happen. So right now we are all keeping our fingers crossed, hoping that the situation is better across the world and the sport can go on.
We lost you there just for a short while.
Yeah.
In terms of foreign players, do you think that the foreign players might be able to still be a feature of the CPL this year?
Again, I mean, a lot of it also depends on the kind of travel restrictions that their own countries have. I mean, till the time, like for us, New Zealand. I mean, I think the lockdown is over there. People aren't really. The life is kind of back to normal. So we have a Colin Munro in the squad. So I mean, and our head coach is from New Zealand. So I don't know what the situation would be in a couple of months, but we are hoping that whenever it happens, it would be with all players.
Well, ACHINT, I want to thank you for spending your time here Sunday night with us on the MAQ TV. We really enjoy your contribution. I want to wish you and your lovely wife Radhika all the best. She's a dear friend as well out there in Mumbai, and I want to wish Mr. Mysore, also a friend, all the best from everyone on this side of the world. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Vinod. Thank you for having me. Wish you and your family a very safe passage of time in the next few months, and all the viewers of MAQ TV and everybody at the US Open to be safe and stay home and stay safe in the coming few months.
Thanks a lot. So you've heard it there from ACHINT GUPTA, and he is the communications director at TKR. He was just giving his views on the current situation, the COVID-19 situation, and what is expected, his hopes for the IPL and CPL as well, and giving us a little insight as to his journey into his current position. Keep viewing MAQ TV as we continue to entertain you during this period of the COVID pandemic. Remember, we're all hoping and praying for the best as we move forward with cricket in our minds.
Which is the most authentic cricketing league in America? US Open Cricket. Which is the most exciting cricket in America? US Open Cricket. Which cricket league has the higher number of views in America? US Open Cricket. Which cricket league has the higher number of players in America? US Open Cricket. Which cricket league has the higher number of teams in America? US Open Cricket. Which cricket league has the higher number of cash prizes in America? US Open Cricket. Get ready for the biggest cricketing event in America, US Open Cricket 2020, from December 16th to December 20th, 2020, at the Central Broward Cricket Stadium, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It'll be aired live on MAQ TV. Let's play 2020 in 2020.